having friends that don't just pat me on the back all the time has made me
our friend group.
has made me a better human all the way around.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Overlap Podcast, a quick hit, by the way. And even in the quick hits, we dive into the intersections of work, fitness, family, faith, parenting, and leadership with the idea that growth in one area of your life fuels growth in all areas of your life. We do these quick hits where they're quick ideas, quick moments of inspiration that you can kind of digest on the drive to or from work or to your next appointment, something like that. But we don't dive in for an hour, hour and a half. It's more like 15, 20 minutes, or really however long we kind of break them out for. But we have lists of topics that we end up thinking might not take, the full hour or so.
However, a quick hit has definitely turned into an hour before.
Because we like to talk about things, I guess. Good thing we got a podcast. Hey, speaking of that, thanks for listening. So, quick hit today is really based on something that Keith brought to my attention, and I think it might even have been a year ago, but I've actually thought about it a lot since then.
Sid, I'm profound pretty much all the time if you would just listen.
I'm moving on from there. I'm moving on because I
say a lot of profound shit.
Maybe I just don't listen. Maybe I just don't listen. Maybe it's just me. But there's just so much bullshit like hidden in there that it's hard to decipher, I guess. Today, what I wanted to talk about is we were leaving jiu-jitsu, and I think it was a night class, which was different for us.
And rare for me to be at.
Yeah, rare for me too. I was at one last night, by the way. But it was rare. And there was a guy that was visiting from another gym. He had been at our academy for, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks at that point. And I think you had talked to him a little bit, and he was talking about his experience at this other gym that I didn't even know was a jiu-jitsu gym in our area. Turns out it wasn't really much of one. And he found our gym, and you said this, that I don't think that we realize what we have here. And I thought, oh, okay, well, that's just, because we've got, great professors, and we've got some great training. The facilities are pretty nice. There's showers, so you can shower right there and kind of go on about your day, or not be sticky and gross driving home, or whatever, right? And turns out that's not what you were talking about. You were talking about the fact that we have this kind of community within jiu-jitsu, amongst other things too. And it got me thinking about all of them. So tell me about your conversation with that guy and why you said that.
I believe that one of the things that's missing in society today, and that is the biggest thing in my life that gives me the most joy, is the communities in which I find myself in.
Yeah.
And, I work at the church some, so I get to talk to a lot of people
which is still shocking.
That is struggling.
Yeah.
And they even let me talk sometimes.
Yeah, I'm just baffled.
You should listen to me more.
I don't know. I did for a little while, and then it got me nowhere. But go ahead. Go ahead.
And so, community is the best thing in my life.
Yeah.
And I'll probably get a little emotional about
Here he goes.
Yeah. Because I really think that, that old adage, you become what you hang around.
Oh, yeah.
But what I see a lot right now is that people don't have good community.
It's pervasive. Once you mentioned it, I started seeing it everywhere. It really did open my eyes that, number one, we're blessed. And I don't know, or we just, I just got lucky. We have a CrossFit gym with a community there that is built around kind of people pushing themselves to become better. There's a little bit of fun competition, but everyone is kind of overcoming little obstacles and fears and getting better. And it's fantastic. Like, it enriches my life, and I don't know that I ever thought about it.
I mean, we even do pull-ups as a community.
Oh, I know. We should probably post that in this episode.
We should.
Yeah, weighted pull-ups and someone just holding on to your back while you're trying to do a pull-up.
I'm probably somewhere around 12 of correct, strict pull-ups.
I feel like that's hyperbole. I don't know that you can do 12. I'm going to bet you $100.
That I can't do 12.
Can't do 12 strict. Get your chin over the bar.
Yes, I can do 12.
All right, it's on. It's on.
It's on. You can video it, and we will post it on social media.
Oh my God, it's on.
He's just jealous right now because he can't do 12 because he's got a gimp arm.
Oh, my arm is on its way back. I had shoulder surgery. I think I did 8 Tuesday or Wednesday strict pull-ups. I don't think it was weighted. No, it wasn't.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about my friend Wes Cody. He's the president of C2 Wealth Strategies, a financial advisory firm dedicated to providing personalized solutions for your financial needs. Wes and his team of professionals are passionate about helping clients create wealth and achieve financial freedom. At C2 Wealth Strategies, they believe in taking a holistic approach to financial planning and are committed to building long-lasting relationships with their clients, ensuring their financial well-being every step of the way. Don't leave your financial future to chance. Contact Wes and C2 Wealth today at c2wealth.com to schedule a consultation. Let Wes and his team help you build your financial future.
If you're a small business owner looking to take your business to the next level, listen up. My good friend Chris Francis has spent over 20 years growing his tree care business to national success. Now he's partnered with Rick Miller, you've probably heard him here on the podcast before, Harvard MBA, and business consultant to create Roadmap for Growth, an online course to help you scale, build teams, and create systems that last. It's not just for the tree industry. This course applies to any small service business. Check out treebusiness.com or hit the link on the Overlap homepage to learn more. Back to the community.
Yep.
I do think that I took that for granted until you mentioned that my life is enriched. You even mentioned our little group text, that, and I don't know that I thought about that because I thought I roll around in life thinking that other people live their life like we do. And they don't. And I started seeing that after you mentioned it. And that's where I do think parents get so involved in their kids because they don't have their own community. They don't have their own little lives, and they get too wrapped up in what their kids are doing and who they're hanging out and what they're doing. And did they score 10 points in the basketball game?
Oh, you're fixing to get on one of my soapboxes.
And they've got personalized training for all of their stuff and one-on-one coaching and all this other stuff where, man, and the parents probably aren't going on date nights and not taking trips with their friends and including their family and all that stuff. And
you know why? You know how to build community.
How's that?
You have to make time for it.
I know. You got to realize that it's important.
Like friendships take time. The reason that you and I are friends is because we take time.
Yeah. I do think you can accelerate it through shared suffering.
Definitely so.
Shared suffering is
especially for men, I think.
I know. And that sounds so lame coming out of my mouth, but I think that's like the critical driver because I've given it some thought once you said it, and I was like, how are we such good friends? Oh, we do tough shit together all the time. Then all we do is give each other a hard time about it, and then we do it again the next day or the next week.
I think the secret is you must try to break each other's arm.
I don't know about that, but
yeah.
Let's take shared suffering and let's take it in a non-physical way. because we were talking about how do you get into communities, and one of them that I was in, and I talk about it on this podcast all the time, man, it was life altering, was getting into a business peer group of other landscapers in non-competing markets, and really getting personal and vulnerable about our businesses, about our about our successes and mainly our failures, and learning from each other, visiting each other's businesses, knowing each other's families. Clint Allison is on my will today, right now. If I were to die, he shows up. My wife knows exactly who to call and who to talk to about unwinding that business and what to do with it, or whatever. And peer groups in the business world, I think, is fantastic. Some are better than others, and I just got lucky in that one. But you could find, and I left that one and found another one that was super good, but it wasn't as close and as personal. I think that's another way. And shared suffering is kind of how each other get through it. Like, I mean, you've seen Clint and Chad Warweg. Those guys, like we love each other.
Dude,
we've gone broke together.
Dude, I've told you, when I came back from getting to hang out with, your little clique, I was blown away.
Yeah.
Like that y'all had this 20-year relationship.
Yeah, man.
Like that was so cool.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I take it for granted.
But Sid, if there's one thing that I see you do is you pursue it.
I do.
Most people don't.
Well, I grew up playing soccer. I was always on a team and I loved it. It gave me access to, I don't know, people and feedback. And I feed off of that. Well, I think our last episode, we were talking about our 80-20, and I have recognized that pretty early on, that's kind of what I am, is like a team builder.
I also think in culture today, we've been fed this lie that we don't need people.
Well, maybe I've been deaf to that. Maybe I've been deaf to your poignant comments, and also deaf to don't need people.
Yeah,
because I don't know that I hear that, and if I did hear it, I would say, well, that's stupid.
Well, think about it.
Without people, I get nothing done, and without people, I don't have really any joy.
Yeah, society tells us, it's all about you.
I don't know.
It's all about you.
You're saying that, and I don't know. Yeah. I don't know that I hear that.
Watch social media.
Okay. Yeah, I do. Maybe my algorithm's different. But think about this. If you climbed a mountain and you didn't have anyone there with you, would that be any fun? If you went and won a jiu-jitsu tournament by yourself and you were the only one there, would that be any fun? No, Scott was there with you.
No, well, but I've done tournaments by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Scott was there, right?
No one was there.
No one was there. What jiu-jitsu tournament did you go to?
That was Atlanta a couple years ago.
And no one else was there?
I signed up and nobody went.
Oh, and you still went?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That wouldn't have been any fun. Was it fun?
No, I would never do it again.
Yeah.
Now, Scott's done that all the time.
He's done that plenty of times, but he's a psycho.
Yeah.
And
he's good at jiu-jitsu.
And that's probably why he roped us into it all.
Yeah.
Because it's no fun.
Yeah.
You've got some other points on how do you get into community. I said peer groups. What's your...
Dude, a place of faith is wonderful.
Man, it really is. It really is.
I mean,
and good places of faith recognize that community is kind of how you get to people, not necessarily just on Sunday, but how do you get people plugged in and creating opportunities for them to create their own community.
And you brought up a great point. Also, I think we look for like one set of friends.
Oh yeah,
but if you hadn't have gotten in the landscape peer group, your business wouldn't have grown like it did.
No.
So it's okay to have different segments of people to feel different emotional and needs in your life.
That's a good one. Man, that's one of my, okay. Look, I'm going to venture out here and be a little bit, vulnerable maybe. I'm just going to step into a little bit of controversial comment. That's one of the things that I sort of I'm cautious about faith-based communities. Look, I say that where you and I were running a dang small group, so I'm not like opposed to it, but I'm always like a little leery because it feels like if you're in that group, then if you've got something else going on, it must pale in comparison, or you're silly for having. Why would you need another group besides this?
Right.
And I'm like, well, I get a lot out of that peer group. I also get a lot out of this CrossFit deal. I get a lot out of this whole group over here in jiu-jitsu. And frankly, I do jiu-jitsu now. A tournament, sure, that'd be fun, whatever. Where are we going to go eat is going to be way more important to me. That I kind of do it just for the community. I have picked up on that. That's where my friends are, and I like choking people, and I like the chess aspect of it and the physical aspect of it, but I really like just the people. I like the people.
Me too.
I like it.
And you know what? Some of them oppose what I believe.
Oh man. Oh my God. There's a few specifically in the group, and I go out of my way to build relationships with that person.
And you know what? That's what actually, and so I'll go spiritual here, that's what we're called to do.
I think so too.
That's what we're called to do, is walk into circles that may not.
I think so too.
Look at Jesus himself.
And be a pretty good representative of that.
Yeah.
So that they can go, oh man, maybe not all of those guys are like that,
And you know what? Walking into circles that necessarily don't agree with me has made me a better human all the way around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having friends that don't just pat me on the back all the time has made me
our friend group.
Has made me a better human all the way around.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you about a friend of the show called Content Fresh. Since they've taken over our social media for the Overlap podcast, we've seen incredible growth. When you combine the growth from all social platforms, we're looking at a massive increase of 2,235%. This partnership has truly transformed our reach and engagement. If you're passionate about growing your business, partnering with Content Fresh could be a game changer for you. Go to overlaplife.com and click on sponsors today.
I want to take a moment to talk about someone who's been instrumental in my personal and business success. That's Johnny Barranco and his team at Barranco & Associates. For over 7 years, Johnny has been my go-to accountant and financial consultant. I can tell you that he's more than just a tax preparer. Johnny takes a holistic approach to all my financial dealings, aligning them with my long-term plans and personal lifestyle. I've recommended Johnny to several friends throughout different business groups around the country, and the feedback has been nothing short of exceptional. His expertise and service are top-notch. So if you're looking for someone who not only prepares your taxes, but also helps you strategize for the future, Johnny and his team at Barranco & Associates are the ones to call. Trust me, you won't regret it. So contact Johnny Barranco today and take the first steps towards financial peace. You're not going to regret this.
And this is where I think a lot of founders and a lot of business owners go wrong, is no one tells them they're not in charge.
Oh.
Because we walk around all day long with people saying yes to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's great. Community is for that, is to make you feel like you're not always in charge, because you're not always in charge.
Well, I'd say some are. Some are, and some are there to just help you feel like seen, accepted, and stuff like that, right? You know?
Yeah.
I think there's some of that. I do think church groups are good. Man, and our church does a good job. I mean, they really do push small groups, and I believe that's where people get sticky, and stick to the church, because they now have a little community, and they like meet people at church, and they build like an adult network. But I find it so fascinating that people live their lives up through their 20s they have kids, and then all of a sudden their whole social world stops at that point. And I don't know that I ever stopped being in community. I played like men's league soccer from the time before I met my wife till about, I don't know, whenever I tore my groin, like 4 or 5 years ago. Now I got a little PTSD about that. It hurt so bad. I was like, I don't know that I want to do that again. But, I've got all these other communities that sort of fill in. Man, our lives are just so much better because of that. And you mentioned, I don't know if it was a couple of podcasts ago, but we've got some self-awareness because we're probably not just in our own head all the time. We're around people all the time. And we're getting feedback. We're getting feedback from physical activity. We're getting feedback from others with us. We're in community.
I'll go spiritual again.
Okay.
The Bible says, if you don't have friends, you're probably not being friendly.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
It says to be a friend.
That sounds like a parent.
It says to be a friend, be a friend.
That sounds like Jordan, my wife, talking to my youngest. Hey, if you don't have any friends, maybe you're not very friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus said that too.
Jesus said that too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's the quick hit is community is one of the main aspects of our lives being enriched and probably indirectly a key component of our success in life as well, is being in community. And Keith did kind of hit the nail on the head that it's not just one. There's lots of them out there. And people might say, I don't have time for that. And I would probably say you probably have more time for community than you do scrolling on your phone for 8 hours a week or watching Netflix for 10 hours a week or just get up earlier, something like that. You've got time. It's just, do you prioritize it enough? And what I would like to impress upon you is that, man, it's worth it.
Totally
It's worth it. It's worth it. Your life will just get so much better. And I did.
And good things come out of it.
Good things come out of it.
This podcast came out of community.
100%. Some could say that's good. Some could disagree with that. Not maybe. I don't know. But hopefully that's not you. I do appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. We've had some significant improvements in our podcast. Thank you, Tim. And our listenership has grown because of that. Well, maybe we're getting better with our content too, but we do appreciate it. Thank you to our sponsors, and hopefully you guys will use them if you need any of their services. And hopefully you will share these podcasts with friends, family, whatever, to maybe help them get into community. I'm sure you know someone that needs to get into community and they're just lonely, and maybe this will inspire them to go find a group to be a part of. It is probably a little scary at first. I don't know what it's like to not be in something like that, but I'll tell you this, it was pretty scary for me to reach out to a business peer group and then go be a part of them. But once I did, it really did transform my life significantly. So I don't want you to miss out on that. Keith, you got anything else to add?
No, man,
community?
just find one.
Yeah. Find one, find multiple. If it's not a good fit, go find another. Easy.
And if all of them are not a good fit, it may be you.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah. Maybe you. All right. Well, we wanted to keep it a quick hit, so we won't keep beating this point.
Well, and we really want Nini squares.
Yeah, Nini squares are good. All right. Talk to you later.